In this video, I want to talk about the importance of website backups of your WordPress website. Why? Because now and then backups can fail. If your WordPress website is a weekend hobby or you're just starting out, then this video is not for you. You can just use a free plugin to make backups and restorations for your website. But if your website is important to your business or you have websites of clients, then watch this video because this can prevent you from getting into a lot of trouble when it comes to backups and restorations. 15 years ago, you could get away with free backup plugins or auto backups from your web hosting provider. But these days, websites are getting heavier, more complicated, and the result can be that your backups or your restorations fail more often. Open a random WordPress forum and you see for yourself how many WordPress backups fail. But why do they fail? Well, there are a few reasons. Let me show you a few. Some plugins still use the same way of making backups as 15 years ago, while WordPress has developed a lot since then. Other tools make backups on their own website. So with every backup, their website becomes heavier. And when your website becomes heavier, your website becomes slower, which results in less conversions on your website. Or on their own server. So when the server is down, all the backups are also not available. With all the problems I just mentioned, BlockVault comes with solutions. The backups that they create of your website are on their own servers, and those servers have copies in the whole world. So if one server fails, there are still copies of your website on other website servers all around the world. So you'll always have access to them. Another great advantage of BlogVault is that they can create incremental backups. So if your website is 1 GB and you make one backup of 1 GB and you make a few changes of your website and a new backup will be made by BlogVault, it will not be a backup of 1 GB. It will be an incremental backup with only the changes in your website. This will keep your website fast. It makes it really easy and fast for BlogVault to create another backup of your complete website because they only back up the differences, and it saves a lot of storage. So if your website is 1 GB and you made a few changes, let's say for 2 MB, then the next backup will only use 2 MB. So it will also save you a lot of storage. The same goes with restorations. If your website somehow fails and you restore a backup from BlogVault, it will not use the whole 1 GB to restore your website. It will only replace the parts that are infected or changed. And again, that will save you time, it will save you space, and it will keep your websites fast. So for all the problems and challenges around backups and restorations, BlogVault has solutions. So let me show you what BlogVault can do and how you can get started so you have more peace of mind when it comes to your websites and your websites of clients. I will show you how to create a backup of your website. Doesn't matter how big the website is. More than 100 GB, no problem for BlogVault. You will learn how to restore backups, how to create staging websites, how to migrate websites to another domain, how to fix your WordPress website if you cannot access it, also not through the backend, and how to never lose any order anymore from WooCommerce because of real-time backups from BlogVault. We're gonna cover this and much more, but first let me give you 2 practical announcements. In the description of this tutorial, I have timestamps, so if you want to go to a specific part in the tutorial, you can click on the timestamp and you go directly to that part of the tutorial. When I go too fast for you, you can go to the settings here at YouTube, go to playback speed, and slow down the speed of the tutorial. And if you want to go back a few seconds in the video, just hit the left arrow on your keyboard and you will go back 5 seconds in the video. And now if you want to, you can go to the YouTube settings and change the audio track to a different language. So I would like to say, let's get started. So in order to get started with BlogVault for free, we go to ferdy.com/BlogVault. Hit enter. And then over here it says we can get started for free. So I click over here. And now I can connect with my Gmail account or with a custom email address. So I will use my email address, info@ferdy.com. I will create a password. And then over here, I click on sign up. Now I need to fill in the website URL that I want to use to make backups. So I will say https://ferdy.com. I click on continue. Now there are 2 ways for me to install this plugin. I can log in to my WordPress website using this area over here. What I prefer is to download the plugin and then go to my website and do it manually. It's up to you. So I scroll down over here, manual installation. I click over here on download. There goes the download. Now I go to my website, ferdy.com. I go to the backend to plugins. I click on add new, upload plugin. And over here, I go to the download. I drag it over here. I click on install now. Then I activate the plugin. Then I go back to BlogVault and then here at the left, plugin in place. Let's run a quick test to make sure it's up and running. So I click on test connection. It says the plugin connection test passed successfully. So now I can initiate the synchronization by clicking here, and this can take some time. So I'll be back with you when this synchronization is completed. And there you go. Your backup is verified and secured. We have our first backup. As you see over here, there's a total of 1 backup that we just created a few minutes ago. And let me show you what this all means. So over here, we see our last backup. It's from today. It's from a few minutes ago. The next one will be within 1 hour. I can also create a manual backup by clicking here. If I scroll down, I see the backup has 2 parts, all the files of my website, all the WordPress files, and all the tables, all the databases. And those 2 combined are your complete WordPress website. If you want to, you can take a look over here and you see everything that's backed up. And also with the databases or the tables, you see everything that is backed up. If I scroll down, I see a nice overview for Ferdy.com with the history of all my backups. Well, right now we just have 1. So in a few days, I will see backups for every single day. And then if something happens to my website or I break something, I can just go over here and restore my backup. And the great thing is with other tools, let's say you have a website that's 20 gigabyte, that's a big website, and you mess something up or you get problems with malware or your website gets hacked, then you can restore a backup. But then the whole 20 gigabyte needs to be uploaded before the restoration can begin. With BlockVault, only the things that are adjusted will be restored. So not the whole 20 gigabyte, but only the files that are necessary. And that will save you a lot of time, especially when you have big websites. And it works in the same way with backups. Look at this area. We have 1 backup right now, and I see, if I take a look at the files, 684 megabytes. Now, it's a few days later, so let me refresh the page. Now I see 686 megabyte in files. So only 2 megabytes are added, but at the same time, I have 3 backups. So what you see over here, it's not 3 times 684 megabytes. No, only the things that changed will be included in a new backup. This will keep everything fast. This will make it faster to restore backups, and this will save a lot of space on your account. So that's also a huge benefit of BlockVault. What else? No matter where we are, we see this area over here. We can click on more. We can download a backup. So if I click over here, I can download it to my computer. I want to download the files and the tables. So I can click here on continue, and then I can download my website. If I go back, I click over here. I can also upload a backup. So if I've downloaded a backup, I can also upload it from my computer and use that as a restoration file for my website. I can migrate my website. So I created a backup, and with that backup, I can migrate it to another website. So that complete website that I right now have at Ferdy Corp can go to another website. BlockVault will help you to do that really easily. I can also create a staging website. What does it mean? That's a temporary website. I can create a staging website, adjust a lot of things at Ferdy.com. And if something happens, if something breaks my website down, then it's only on the staging website. The staging website is not the live website. So I can create a test environment where I can adjust a lot of things. And if that is working, if everything is still working, I can click on 1 button, and then that staging website will be transferred to the live website. So I make sure that everything is working before I bring my staging website to the live website. I can do the same with restorations. I can go to a backup, an earlier backup. I click on restore. If I'm not sure if everything will be working, I can also do a test restore, and then I can check that test restoration. And if that is working, then I can push it to the live website. So what I want to do now, I want to adjust something to my website so we can clearly see that something changed. So I go to my website, learn how to make a website using WordPress, and let's get rid of this button. So I click on edit with bricks. I click over here. I get rid of it. I save it. View the front end. So the button is gone. Well, it can be that the button is gone. It can also be that I accidentally remove something really big on my website, or I upload a plugin and my whole website fails. So now we see that the button is gone. What I can do now, I can go to BlockVault. I can say I want to have a restoration of my previous backup. Well, I just created only 1, but if you have BlockVault for multiple days or for a longer time, then we'll see more backups that you can choose from. I will choose this one. I click on apply. I want to restore all files and all tables. I click on continue. It's validating the connection. I scroll down and I click on initiate. So now we see a beautiful overview. It's all from within BlockVault. You don't have to go to your own website and do everything within there, especially when your website is broken down. Sometimes it's like, hey, I cannot even access my website, so how can I restore a backup? With BlockVault, it's externally on the BlockVault platform. What I see, I have quite a big website and we are still within 1 minute and almost everything is already restored. 62%. It's finalizing and in 2 minutes, the restoration has been completed. So now, if I refresh the website, look at this, it is back. And we're still making use of the free version. This is amazing. So let me do a magic trick. Now the button is gone again, because what we also can do, we can do a test restoration. If you want to make sure that the backup that you're placing back is working, we can go to the dashboard here at the backups and I can do a test restore, test restoration. I click over here. I can choose one, so I choose the most recent one, which still contains that button. I click on apply. I can choose the PHP version, see if it's working with this PHP version. I click on continue. Okay, everything seems to be okay. Now I can create a test restore by clicking here. So whatever the result of this will be is not on my live website, but on a test website, a temporary website. So as you see, it's completed after 2 minutes. I refresh the page. The button is still gone, so you see it's not restored. But what we can do now, I can go to this link, this temporary link, log in with those details, with this password, sign in. There I should see the button and I see it. I can go to all the other pages, see if those are working. Okay, everything seems to be working. I click over here. I click on the button, get started. And I go to the correct page. Okay, it's working. So what I can do now, I can go back to the backup area in BlockVault. I click on restore. And I can go for the particular backup that I tested. Click on apply. I click on continue. Continue. And I click on initiate. It is now completed. So if I go to the website and I refresh it, the button is back and I know already that everything is working because I tested it. There you go. What else can we do? Well, there's so much more we can do. Over here, I see I have a few updates. Both over here, maybe also, let me see, appearance themes. There are no updates over here. So let me go to manage. What I see over here, I have updates. So from within BlockVault, I can update my website. So I click over here. And over here, I see everything I can update. So I can select those two if I want to. I can click on update, confirm update. I see which versions are the new ones. A smooth ride to the finish line. So now everything is updated. If I refresh the page or I go to plugins, or let's say I go to dashboard updates, it's not 5 anymore, it's only 3. So as you see, I can update everything from within BlockVault. You can also make selective restores. Let's say you have a WooCommerce website and you download a plugin that would make your website faster, but it messed up your website. Then I can say, okay, I'll replace a backup from the day before or from 2 days before, but then I lose sales if I made sales in the last 24 hours. So instead of restoring a complete backup, what I will do, I will go back to the latest backup, this one. Then I click on restore. And then over here, I click on select. I uncheck everything except for WP content. I open it. And I go for all the plugins. Confirm. Then I uncheck the tables. By the way, to take a look at the result over here, I see my website is loading really slow now. So I want to get rid of that plugin. I want to restore it to the way it was. This is super slow, 2 seconds for my website. So what I'll do, I click on continue. I click on initiate. So it's making a selective restoration. It only takes 18 seconds. So now if I refresh my website, that plugin that I downloaded is gone. And as you see, slow loading time or fast loading times again, just 0.62 seconds. It's less megabytes than before the plugin. Everything is faster. So that's how you can make a selective restoration and keep your sales intact from the last 24 hours. It's a few days later. If I scroll down, I see that there are 7 backups. So I can restore all those backups from earlier days. If I want to have more options, if I want to add multiple websites, make staging websites, have more features, then I can upgrade, and I have something special for you. I can give you 50% off when you go to ferdy.com/BlockVault, hit enter, then click on login. There's also Black Friday now. So what I can do, I can click over here, but if you don't see it because it's not Black Friday, maybe when you're watching this, you can click over here, click on billing and invoices. You can modify the subscription. And look at this. Since you use my links, that 50% is already activated. So what you can get, if you want to upgrade to have more options, let me walk you through the options. And by the way, all these options I have information about in this tutorial. I will walk through all those features, but you get more daily backups. And instead of getting backups for 7 days, with this plan, you get them for 30 days. 10 gigabyte of website space. Right now, it's only 1. You can restore websites, you can migrate websites. You can have staging websites for 7 days. If your website completely goes offline somehow, you have the emergency connector, really powerful feature. From within BlockVault, you can restore your website, even if you don't have access to your backend in your website. And you have support. You have no multi-site support, no real-time backups if you're selling things through WooCommerce, and no fast staging. You can also go for the business plan. You have everything from plan 1 and 2 backups per day. You can get 90 days of backups, 50 gigabyte of web space, multi-site support if you have a multi-site, and also with one click, a multi-site restore, 30 days of staging websites, fast staging. So you click on a button and the staging website will be made really fast, and then you can adjust things. And if you like the adjustments, then you can push it to the live website and you get priority support. Then only if you use WooCommerce and you make more than 10 sales per day, then I would definitely go with the WooCommerce plan, because if something goes wrong in your website, thanks to the real-time backups of BlockVault, your sales, your orders will be intact. Your orders will not disappear. This is super powerful. There's no other plugin right now that can do this. So it's choice time. If you want to go for the personal plan and you want to have one website, you get 50% off. You pay $49.50 per year. If you want to have multiple websites, let's say 5, you pay $149.50 per year. If you want to get those options over here, more backups, more space, multi-site support, you can go for 1 website over here, or for 5 websites over here, or you can also go for 6. You can decide exactly how much website you want to have. And if you have a web shop with more than 10 sales per day with WooCommerce, then I would go for this plan. And you can upgrade like that by selecting this. I want to go for 1 website over here. Then I click on Buy Now. The discount is applied. And then over here, I can click on Pay Now. I can pay with credit card, or what you saw earlier, I can pay with PayPal. You can also go back and pay with PayPal. Subscription is activated. Super cool. Now I can go back to my account. And those new options are unlocked. I will have more backups and all the features I have with the personal plan. So good luck with making your decision for which plan is best for you. Now let's cover all the other beautiful features of BlockVault. BlockVault can even back up really massively big websites. I have a website that's more than 100 gigabytes. Let me show you how to back it up. I click on Add Site. I paste the URL. I click on Continue. This time I want to make use of the login details, so I click on Continue. Now it says the synchronization is initiated, hang in there. The great thing is there's a connection between BlockVault and my website. But the backup that's made is not made on the server of my website, but on the server of BlockVault. So I can still work on my website, still have the same speed. The visitors of the website will not have a slower experience because everything is offloaded to the servers of BlockVault. And to make it even better, let's say you're somewhere where there's a slow internet connection. That doesn't matter because the backup of your website is made between the server of your website and the server of BlockVault. So this website is more than 100 gigabyte. Let me show you how long it took for BlockVault to make a backup of this website. It took 70 minutes to create a backup for a website that's 124.8 gigabytes. The great thing is when another backup will be created within few hours, or I create one manually, it doesn't take 17 minutes. Let me show you. If I click on backup now, the backup is in process. What I've done, I added a few more videos to this website. So I will show you that because it's an incremental backup, it doesn't make a backup of 125 gigabyte again, but only the files that are added or adjusted. So let me show you how long it takes right now. It just took 2 minutes. So you see the website is a little bit bigger, 2 gigabytes bigger, and that's why it only took 2 minutes instead of another 72 minutes. That's the power of BlockVault. It can be that you want to make some adjustments to your website, but not on your live website. First, you want to test things. Maybe you're working with a client and your clients want to see some changes, but they don't want to have them on their live website. They want to have them on a test area, a temporary area. That's where staging websites comes in. And the great thing is that with BlockVault, you can have staging websites that are more than 100 gigabytes. And it only takes 10 minutes to create a staging website. And if it's a smaller website, it's even faster. So I have my website ferdy.com over here. In order to create a staging website, so to change something on the test website, the temporary website, and then push it to the live website, I click over here on more in the backup area. I click on create staging. I want to make use of the latest backup. I click on continue and I click on create staging. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a new drink. Sparkling water, 92%. So it's taking 1.5 minutes right now. So if you have a really big website, it can do no harm to do something else. Say something nice to your loved ones, or go for a walk, buy a dog, or borrow a dog from your neighbors and walk it. After 2 minutes and 1 second, it was completed. I'm still catching my breath. My office is in the penthouse. It's the 278th floor, and I just got my drink from the bottom floor. Okay. So over here, I can go to the staging website. I can log in with username BlockVault, the password, this one, sign in. Let me do a few changes and then I will be back with you. Okay. So right now you'll definitely see changes. So this is the homepage. If I go to my own website, you see it's the normal one. What I can do now, over here, I can go back to the staging site details, and now I can say merge to source. So I click on merge to source. There you go. Continue to tables, continue to merge, continue, and then over here, execute the merge. By the way, buy my merchandise. It's not even funny. I wouldn't say it's a joke because it's not that fun. It's not even, cannot be called a joke because it was so not funny. Or it's just a not funny joke. Wow. Well, I was blah, 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 blah. The merge is complete. So now if I refresh Ferdy.com, this is the staging website, Ferdy.com. There you have it. Well, let's restore this real quick because this is not how I want my live website to be. That's how you can work with a staging website. Another advantage of using BlockVault. Right now, I messed up my website. So I go to Ferdy.com and it says it's completely not working. Then I can think, hey, let's go to the backend. So I go to Ferdy.com/WP admin. Nothing. So how can I fix this? How can I restore this backup? Well, let me close this. What I can do, I can just go to restore. This is called an emergency connector. So I go to the backup of this morning, apply. What I can do a test restore to see if this version is working. I checked it and it is working. So now I click on continue. I click on initiate. So even though I was not able to enter my website through the backend, through the front end, anyway, I could not access the website. Thanks to BlockVault, I can still do a restoration. And in some cases with other plugins, it's not possible because you need to do the restoration from within the website. So it's called the emergency connector, and that can help you to restore your website even when you don't have access to your website. So they say it's fixed. I go to Ferdy.com. I have access to the website. I go to Ferdy.com/backend and also have access. So that's how the emergency connector can help you to bring back your website. This is probably the most powerful feature of BlockVault. If you have a web store with a lot of sales per day or per week, and some things on your website do not work perfectly and want to restore a backup, you don't want to lose sales. People buy things, so let's say in the last hour, 5 people bought something on your website and you store a backup from the day before, then you lose those sales. You don't know their addresses, you don't know anything. With BlockVault, that does not have to be the case. If you take a look over here, I have real-time backups. I turn this on here at the backup area. And I see in the latest hour, I had around 8 sales over here at my website. I see those sales all from today. See a lot of money is involved. If I restore a backup from the day before, I lose all this information. I don't want that. So if I turn this on, WooCommerce real-time backups, you see with every new thing that happens related to my WooCommerce website, a small update will be made. If I decide to restore a backup from a few days ago, let's go for this one. I can click on restore, scroll down, and I click on continue. Initiate. Now the restoration is complete. I go to my website and I refresh the page and it's still all there. So this is super powerful. You can create restorations, but your latest sale, your latest incoming order will still be there thanks to BlockVault. So you will never lose an order, even if your website does something weird and you want to restore a backup from before. With BlockVault, it is really easy to migrate your website to another web hosting provider or to switch from web hosting providers so your website will be on the same domain, but from a different web hosting provider. Let me show you how to migrate your website to another domain. So I have my website over here, consoledelivery.com, and I bought a domain, console delivered. I want to transfer or migrate my current website towards the new domain. In order to do that, I go to backups over here, and then I click on more, migrate. I can select the most recent backup. I can also make a manual backup and use that one. I will use this one, the most recent one, apply the destination URL. I always like to copy and paste this because you never know if you make any errors. So I want to migrate the files and the tables. And for now, I skip the advanced options. I click on continue. So I need to fill in some details over here. So here at SiteGround, I go to the dashboard, FTP accounts. I can create a new one. So I say Ferdy, I create a password. I click on create, FTP host and server. Over here, login information, FTP hostname, I copy it. I paste it, the port is 21. FTP, the username. Over here, if you don't have one, you can create one over here. Click on create. So I paste it. I use the password I created. I click on browse. I want to place it in the public HTML folder over here. Confirm. Database connection failed. Well, I need to install WordPress over here. So I go to install, manage, WordPress, create a username, install. So now if I refresh the page, okay, we see WordPress. So now again, let's change something over here. Now, connection is successful. Now I can click on continue. I click on initiate. And there it goes. The website from console delivery will go to consoledelivered.com through BlockVault. It says it is completed. So now if I refresh the page, it is copied. How cool is that? So if I go to a page, it also works. So the migration is complete. That's how you can do that using BlockVault. With BlockVault, you can also make backups and restore backups from multi-sites. So normally you have a single website with a domain name console delivery. We are WebDivine, but I have a multi-site over here. It's consoledelivered.com. And if I take a look at my sites, it has multiple sites attached to it. So what it actually does, all my plugins are at one site and all those other domains are making use of the same plugins. It can help you to make things smoother when you have multiple websites for the same company. Maybe you have multiple stores in the United States. So instead of creating a single web shop for every single website, you can have a multi-site. If you want to learn more about it, just Google it. I want to show you now how you can make a backup of a multi-website and how you can restore backups. So over here, I have my main website. And over here, I have one of the subdomains that is part of the multi-site. And what I want to do now, I want to go to console delivered, grab this domain, copy, add site. We've done this before, so let me skip this. I will click on continue. Connection test complete. Now I initiate the sync, and it will not only sync my current main domain name, console delivered, but also the multi-site domains. And one of those is domain1.console delivered. So now when I go to my main website, I can adjust things over here. And then I can restore a backup later, but I can also go to the subdomain, which is part of the multi-site, which also has been backed up. So now if I change the theme over here, I go to themes and let's go add a theme. I go for the S-star theme and I activate it. Now if I go to the website, domain 1, it looks like this. Now if I go to BlockVault and I go to console delivered and I click over here, I go to backups and I restore the latest one, continue, initiate. It is complete. So now if I go to the website, we see the extra theme. If I refresh it, we see the old theme again. So what you see with multi-sites is that every single site within that multi-site has backups and can be restored. So right now I have multiple websites that get backups 4 times per day. If I scroll down here at my website, ferdy.com, I see a nice overview every day, 4 backups. Here are 6 backups. Why? Because yesterday I made 2 manual backups. So by default, it will create 4 backups. If I say, hey, I want to have an extra one, I click on the manual backup button and another one will be created. But what else can we see over here? If I take a look over here, I can view the backup history. So I see per backup what it covers, the amount of files, the amount of tables, the size, the amount of plugins with all the active plugins, the users, the themes, total of 3 themes, and the current one is bricks. Here's the last one. And for every single backup, I can create a test restore. I can make a live restore. I can migrate every backup to another place. I can download the backup. I can create a staging website based on this particular backup. So you see an overview like that. If I go back, I also can filter backups. So I click over here on this star. From the current month, I can say I want to see backups from the last 7 days or from the last month or from the previous year. I can take a look at successful backups or failed. So if I click on failed, apply, there's nothing there anymore. I can also search for the backups with the least size, most files synced, most tables synced, and with notes. I can reset it so I see every single backup there is. And that brings me to the end of this tutorial. I really hope this was helpful for you. If so, please let me know. Feel free to like the video and subscribe for more upcoming WordPress and web application and e-commerce and affiliate marketing related tutorials. I wish you the best in everything you do and see you next time. Bye bye.